This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast, episode 517. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the wonderfully decorated Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, PA. You don't see it on camera, but actually you can see the blue lights a little bit my rope lights are no longer wrapped around me. They are now in my store window. I am safe. You have that. Yeah, I was playing with a lot of toys recently. But we're going to talk about some other toys as well. With me, first of all, he's good. He's not the toy master. That's not the name I want to give him. He's a gadget guru over at Big Bank International Esquire, the fun fake name we've been giving to his employer for years now. I don't think they've figured it out yet. John Chichilla is joining us from the Big D Dormont.
How's it going? I wanted to be the key master.
Okay, all right. How you doing, man? Do you have some sweet Halloween decorations? How you rolling over there? I haven't driven by your house.
We don't roll big on the Halloween decorations. It's just pretty much carve the pumpkins and pass out some candy.
Oh, okay.
While
Pretty
keeping our
straightforward.
distance.
I don't know if you've seen I found these wooden Halloween decorations that stick in the ground of like ghosts and stuff that I'm pretty sure came with the house. I got to do something. And the campsite we stayed at over the weekend while we were in Lancaster, like everybody was decorating their campers. It was fantastic. Also with us, she also likes to play with toys. The Dudas is with us.
Who doesn't like to play with toys?
Of course, rocking the Animal Crossing. No Animal Crossing updates, I don't think, this week, right?
No. But I'm wearing my Mandalorian shirt.
Yes.
Coming back next week.
Yes. And you're a steady diet of watching Halloweentown, I understand.
Yes, I actually added that later in the notes that I used the Disney Plus group watch.
Oh, we'll put a pin in that for now. But in the meantime, you can go check out everything at awesomecast.com, where you can subscribe to this show and find past episodes in the show notes as well. And we try to put links into all of our stories as much as we can, so that you can follow along with that. Also, please hit us up, AwesomeCast at sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast, AwesomeCast on Facebook, and of course, subscribe, rate us on your favorite podcast app. You can find the AwesomeCast tech news from Pittsburgh over there. And you can also join us live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on Facebook Live. We're also on the Twitter Periscope. We're on the YouTube for AwesomeCast, and also on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. Try to stream, get out there wherever we can. And, of course, thank you to our audio partners still carrying us over at the 405media.com streaming and at postindustrial.com that's been sharing some fine Pittsburgh podcasts with their readers over there. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast. Our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and John Carmen. Our friends at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, pjmuseums.org. Our friend Professor Buzzkill, check out his fine podcast. And our friend Dave Podner. They're all friends of the show, all of you. And also bosses of the show, too. You guys can support the show if you like what's going on here at patreon.com/awesomecast. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. I'm just scooting through these real quick. So let's first go with Dutter's awesome thing. I was curious because I opened up the link and I just saw a guy staring at me. So I kind of want to know what this is about, to be honest.
Creepy guy staring at you. So if you have a company, if you have a business, a lot of times it's hard to come up with content that your customers, what your customers want and what you keep talking about, especially, not a lot's going on during COVID, possibly for your business, and you still want to engage with your customers and your audience. This website, it's called answerthepublic.com. and it allows you to search a specific term, one word or two words. If you're into, I looked up iPhone 12, or if you have a specific business that you're into, banks, online banks. It'll tell you, it'll do a search. It takes a minute, and it'll pop up the who, what's, where's of people asking questions about online banks. So that way you can look and say, oh, wow, a lot of people are searching, what is the best online bank, or what is the best way to open an online bank account? And you can answer those questions in blog posts and videos, whatever, however you do your content. And it's actually pretty cool. You can export it. But the only thing is you have to be careful, because you can only do a couple searches per day. So you either have to, to be very specific what you want to look for, or you have to upgrade to the Pro, which is not I mean, if you have a business where you can afford the expense, it's like $100 a month or $79 a month if you pay up front. But it's really neat because you could, track and monitor your brand reputation. Like if you have if you own Walmart and you want to see what people are asking about Walmart and see what they're saying about your company, just, see what trends are coming up, what people are talking about now. I think it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat.
So for the visualization, I typed in pro wrestling while you were talking here. So you get the data breakdown, right? Mm-hmm. So I typed in pro wrestling again under the word can. You get Can-Am Pro Wrestling. Can you bet on pro wrestling? Can I run fire pro wrestling world? Can I punch in pro wrestling? And there's a cool visualization to this as well. About and again, it's like starts with the questions you're asked: where, who, how, will, which, why, what, things like that. And then ideally you would basically, like, on blogs, on posts, answer some of these questions so you'll come up in more terms, right?
Yeah. So it's neat because, especially if you're using, you're trying to optimize, SEO and all that good stuff, that you want to answer the questions that people are asking. So when they search, can I punch in pro wrestling? You have an article called "Can I punch in pro wrestling?" and your results pop up.
Yeah. Hopefully I get you out there. That'd be great. I need something like this a little bit, probably. Oops, in the back end. But no, yeah, absolutely, because it is a little bit of like, okay, what should we block? And that's a nice tool. So how far do you get before you have to pay for it?
I searched for, I think, 2 things, and then it was like, you already searched.
Hey, you seem to like this. So
why don't you pay us? I'm like, I can't.
I like that. So that is called answerthepublic.com if you want to check that out. So I've used my one search for the day. Damn it.
It's one per day, or it's like one. It's like a couple per day, or it's a couple ever.
It seems like to be per day. Because when it came up with a notification, you've reached your search limit for today. And I don't know if it was because I searched for iPhone 12, like I searched for something that's pretty popular, that they're like, maybe.
Yeah.
But like maybe if you search for things that aren't as exciting.
But if it's something that I'm like, I need to come up with something for today, let's try something. Like it could be nice if you're just a small little thing trying to get know versus you're making all the SEO for all of the things. So, or multiple clients, or whatever the case may be. That's awesome. I actually added it to my bookmark so I can play with that later. That goes right into your display purposes and whatever the alt to display purposes was, because we were kind of complaining that over on the Slack, all hashtag, like those little social media tools like that. So awesome. I love it. John, I think you have a friend asking if you're in a closet during the show in the chat room.
Yes, in a cave.
Yes, it's the Chilla cave, is what it is. It's all decked out. You don't have your swinging iMac over. Well, you do. You haven't been using it much.
No, I gotta get some kind of cool screensaver for when the show's on.
Yeah. I mean, you got enough decoration over there, but you know what, dude? I my old iMac, like the 2007, I downloaded the screensaver from the Apple TV. So it gets all of that on there. So if nothing else, it's a great Apple TV screensaver to sit in my retro office. So, but anyways, Chilla, not your office, but your office is awesome. What is your awesome thing of the week?
My awesome thing of the week is, I almost said MTV. Apple's bringing back like the 80s generation of MTV. They have a 24-hour streaming video channel called Apple Music TV. I find myself, if I'm doing something that's kind of brainless, I tend to turn on a podcast. So cooking dinner, hanging out on the back porch, pulling weeds, whatever, I'll listen to a podcast. But if I'm doing something that's kind of, I'm actually putting my mind really on, I find that if I listen to a podcast, I can't pay attention enough to it, and I kind of get lost in what they're talking about. And so I've been starting to just put music on in the background a lot, like if I'm working on something in the shop, or last weekend I was starting to build Christopher's Halloween costume. So I'm just throwing on music. I really like the idea that I can throw on like old school MTV style, just music video after music video. For a while I made a playlist of music videos, but now I can just throw this on in the background. So within the Apple TV app, I used it on my iPad last night, and I'll use it on the TV over the weekend when I continue to work on some things. But just kind of having the background with the new music videos on, because I feel like I don't see a lot of music videos anymore. Even scrolling through normal everyday TV, you bring up MTV and it's just gibberish TV type shows, not actual music videos.
So yeah, and I brought it up a little bit on the visual here. I just opened again the TV app on my MacBook, and it's there on one of the halfway down the main screen there. So it's nice. It's on that. You don't need a subscription to Apple Music, and I think there may also be a way to get into it from the music app itself, no matter what program you're on. And of course, the TV app's on a bunch of different platforms now. The music app's on a bunch of different platforms. So that's interesting, and it's. You're right. I never hear about music videos unless, thankfully I'm getting suggested a lot more since I'm in YouTube Music, but unless there's something controversial happens with one of them, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was using Vivo. I was using Vivo for a while because you could control it with your voice on the Xbox. But yeah, I mean, and I was getting newer videos, but yeah, rarely do I hear, "Oh, did you see this video?"
Yeah, that just doesn't happen anymore since everything's direct feeded to our ears. So no, that's cool. I don't, and again, I don't know. I'm sure somebody. I mean, I feel like this is a nice thing to throw on in in a lobby or something for some people. To be honest, but you're right. It's that background thing, right? So it's cool that we get those. We got the channels that we've always wanted now. I can flip on a channel and have pro wrestling just on Twitch or Pluto TV, right? And Twitch Twitch we can just stream video games whenever. So, well, speaking of video games, so my awesome thing is there was an update to the Xbox app for iOS. First of all, sidebar. Me and my brother, we were staying at kind of a. It was a campground. We were in Lancaster for a wedding, and we ended up renting a It's kind of like a small mobile home. I don't know how to describe it, but it was a nice little like cabin mobile home kind of thing for us to stay in for the weekend. And we were amazed at how well reception we had. So we found ourselves. He was showing me his streaming stuff and how he's been streaming using Moonlight to stream his PC games because he's got a kick-ass NVIDIA system and everything, right? And then I was using Stadia to see how that stuff worked, and it's amazing how well it does. So I'm really looking forward to see how this works when I'm gone in an RV for 3 weeks across the country with no direct internet. So if I can still get my gaming on other than Apple Arcade. And one of those elements with the new Xbox app is that I am streaming. This is my Xbox One, original Xbox One, sitting at my house right now, and you can see my menu. I don't have a controller here, at the moment, but I was playing with this, and this works not just, obviously I'm in a different place on different internet here, 3 blocks away, but still, it works. It works well. Earlier today, at least in the same house, I was playing some WWE Battlegrounds and Mortal Kombat 10 on here, and it seems really, really good. And it also solves the problem because while xCloud seems really interesting and I really want to use more of it, it's quote limited to the Game Pass games for the most part. And so if you're like, I own a game, why can't I stream it? This kind of solves that problem. And also, I can throw a disc in, like my Transformers game, which is probably the only disc I'll play, and I can even play that apparently anywhere in the country. So it's like I have my own game server at the house at this point.
What happens if you try to launch like the Netflix app?
I don't know. I try it now if I had a Bluetooth controller here.
But you can't just tap on the screen either.
No, it's not. It doesn't let you tap on the screen. And other iterations of this would allow you to open a on-screen controller layout of sorts, so you could navigate. This one does not for some reason. I feel like that's an Apple thing. But no, I don't see much reason why you wouldn't. You get that with like Steam and things like that. So the only button I can actually use is the Xbox button that brings up your menu. So, but no, it works pretty good, and I'm looking forward to trying this in other places. So again, just it's awesome that like the games are just kind of connected. And I know somebody's gonna say this has been something that's been available apparently from PlayStation for like a year, but I have Xbox, so whatever. So, but no, looking forward to that and seeing how that runs over the next several weeks as we try to do all of this remotely. So, well, one thing I'm not going to be able to take with me, well, I can take with me, but it'll get cold, is our good friends at Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Go check them out over there. 3 locations, Beachview, Carnegie, the East End, and PNC Park. They've been great friends to the podcast here that we do on Tuesday night. This is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, being our guests. And while tonight is not one of those nights, we've been getting some more guests in the studio, so it's been really nice to be able to make sure they're taken care of as we bring them in during our dinner hours and at night and stuff to make sure that fuels up for our shows. Fueled by pepperoni and cheese, the Sorgatron Media Network. So thank you to them for supporting the show. Hey, we got a great group over at AwesomeCast Facebook group. If you guys want to join that, we have a lot of great discussions throughout the week and some things added on to even stories that we've been talking about. One of those, and Chilla, I hope you had a chance to look at this. Dave Ponder shared an iPhone 12 Pro camera review, and the pros aren't out yet. What did they release last week?
The Pro Max. So the pre-order went live on Friday.
Okay.
You could pre-order the regular and the Pro.
Yes.
You could not order the Pro Max yet.
Okay.
Pro Max doesn't go for pre-order until I think early November.
So in this we're talking about the 12 Pro. The 12s and 12 Pros are out there. I was again looking a little bit through this, and he went to Glacier National Park in Montana, so he has some great stuff to work from. But he tests out the ultra wide. He even did an indoor ultra wide mode on a tripod. He used night mode for star exposures that looked fantastic. There was some great snow scenes that he had. Ultra wide night mode he used for apparently it was snowing out. Let's see. He was trying to use it without the night mode for comparison purposes. It is really nice to see what's capable. And again, I mean, this is a professional using it, but I from what I can tell, I don't think he's not touching these up so much or anything like that I can tell. You got portrait mode he has some tests on. The controls, the pro level controls, he talks about that and what they used. These photos look incredible. And I guess for comparison, I'm viewing them on a Retina display, so that's going to probably help out a good bit too. We got some time lapse with some fog rolling over the river or lake or whatever that is as well. So, Chilla, are you looking at this? Katie, you're in this for the photos at this point.
I pre-ordered the Pro. The Pro Max. I was very interested in the better photo setup on the Max. just a little too big for my dainty hands.
The size problem. The size problem.
Well, it's not. I mean, the Pro is on the verge of unpocketable to me,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm not wearing skinny jeans or anything,
Yeah.
but it's just a little. It's a little big, for what I'm doing, and I've been pretty happy with the Pro that I have. We just go through the hand-me-down process, so
Yep.
the other phone's 2 years old. I'm also very interested in what they do with. I'll have to go back and watch that video. I didn't watch it all. I wonder, did he use a tripod for any of that? Because I noticed towards the beginning it showed him kind of walking around, and it shows him in some of the pictures of him like standing on a rock.
The videos are pretty quick. So I don't think there's I'm sure the time lapse is probably best with the tripod. But no, it's mostly images from going through a lot of this. So,
Yep.
But I'm loving the HDR3,
mm-hmm.
the smart HDR3, because there's that one photo, and he's got the mountains in the background and the water, and it's kind of dark in the foreground and the background, because you just blow out in the background, especially with those white mountaintops, and it's like, whoa.
Problem that we've all probably seen. As part of this. And this is austinmann.com is where this is. I think I failed to mention before, but you can see some of those pictures as well. And yeah, you see him kind of silhouetted there in the foreground there. That looks really cool. Really, really cool. We have a lot of those light levels. It gets pretty crazy. My pro video cameras don't even handle that kind of stuff well. So, no, looking forward to that. Seeing what you, Chilla, and Katie, I presume, getting your hands on these things.
Yeah, I'm safe. I've got the big palms, big hands, so I'm good. I can go for the big phone.
Yeah.
She got big pockets and big hands.
Big pockets, big hands. You can
Got
palm.
my fanny pack.
You can palm your iPad Pro Max. You're good. You're good to go. Is that the new standard? Like, is it palmable by me, kind of thing? So.
Do you remember when we were like at points where the phones were like, oh, this is way too big, and they just kept getting smaller and smaller, and we're like, oh, this is a nice tiny size, and then we're like, oh, we hate this, we can't see the screen, and then they got big.
Yeah. And even so, what frustrates me, again, 8+ here, but I'm getting really frustrated because I'm finding myself using it sideways more, whether it's like in the car or depending on the mounts or something like that, or it just makes sense with a lot of apps. But there's so many that don't, and it just drives me insane. Even it drives me nuts that my iPad, which is like 95% of the time, is sideways. And then I open the Facebook Business Pages app, and it goes hot dog by the hot dog hamburger. No, it goes hamburger on me. And that's how I think about it now. Thank you, whoever did that to me last week. So on one of the wrestling shows. But no, it's just infuriating that you have to like turn an entire device, at this stage when you're getting these sizes. So. But Amanda Narcissi, your friend from Bold Pittsburgh, shared with us her new fun game, Way of the Turtle. It's a platformer on Apple Arcade, and it looks like right up the, it looks like one of those kind of 2D platformers in a 3D space kind of things, kind of like that little Orpheus I was loving not so long ago. So there's actually, as I was digging through for this game to download it, there's a lot of announcements for new upcoming Apple Arcade games. Because I was wondering, because I felt like there was a little bit of drought for a little bit there. But there's at least like 5 new games I think they were showing off when you go into that section of the App Store. So definitely worthwhile. But really enjoying that still. Oh, look, there's the Way of the Turtle on top of my app now too. So they know we're talking about it. But no, go check that out. It's part of that if you're doing the Apple Arcade. I don't know if there's a trial anymore for Apple Arcade. There might still be for new users, so look out for that. I know I keep getting trials for like Apple News every time I buy a cord from Best Buy. So I don't even know what they're signing me up for at this point. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing I'm still waiting on is when are we gonna get the new bundles? So I have single person Apple Music. I have Arcade's family, and then TV's family. But I want to get the music family and then the space, but at the discounted bundle rate.
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen Apple.
I haven't either.
They announced it, but I don't know when it's actually coming out.
Also, they've extended if you're on the Apple TV trial from buying a device a year ago, they just extended you from November to February.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have like $5 a month less reason to get that until February. So I don't know. I think there's some funny stuff going on right now. Again, I think it's probably a lot of it is COVID scheduling related. Because the fitness, I don't think the fitness app was even supposed to be rolled out along with it at the time. So I was kind of curious about like having Apple News. I was curious about the. I started listening to bits from the audio. Have you seen this? That you can listen to the news in audio form, and it sounds like they have somebody read the articles from Wired and whatever else is on there and some highlights. But I don't know. Which I know it sounds like podcasting. But I also wonder if that carries over. If you have the HomePod, will it carry like, hey, S word, I want some news. Is that what you're hearing now? Like you would a Amazon Flash brief that somebody would put on. So I don't know. Let's see. Daughters, we alluded to this earlier, but you've been doing group watch with Ronnie.
Yeah, Disney Plus group watch. I finally got a chance to check it out last night. I am watching Halloween. I watched Halloweentown for the first time ever, which is apparently earth-shattering.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I watched it. My mom made me watch it at the beginning of the month too, and I'm like, this is the thing you watch every year? So.
But it was a lot of fun. So we did the group watch. He initiated it and sent me the link, and I was able to log in. So I have Disney Plus on both my phone and on my television. It's one of the apps on my TV. And so I opened it on my phone because that's where he sent the message. And then it said, would you like to watch it on a larger screen? Turn on your TV, click on the app. And then on the app, when I went in there, it said that group watch. So I got to sign in from there. So I didn't have to because I was concerned about the maneuvering. Like if someone sent me a message here, how do I get it on my TV? Yeah.
Because it seems to just send it with like a text and a link, right? So,
but the cool thing you can do is if you have Disney Plus both on your phone and your TV, while you're watching, you can react. So you can make like a smiley face or a crying face or an angry face. And I mean, it's not, I'm hoping they add more reactions later. But right now there's just like the 4 reactions, and it pops up in the corner of the screen for everybody to see. And it says that I, smiled or laughed or whatever.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Does it show you the other person's like picture that they picked for their Disney account, or does it just have your name? Oh, yes.
Cool. Yeah. So we were both Mando. I was like, oh, twinsies.
Oh, I noticed that too, because didn't we test that live here on the show? And I was like, oh, we're both Mando. I should probably pick something else. So.
We're all Mando.
Yeah. Because like, why are we here? Oh, that's right. No, that's cool.
You can pause it and come back, like if someone needs to use the bathroom, and okay, everybody pause at the same. So you don't have to sit there and all go pause at the same time, but it syncs up perfectly. We were at the same spot the whole time.
That's good.
It was neat. It was fun.
That's cool. It's a perfect pandemic watch along situation. So if only I can plug my Ewok DVD in to this.
That'd be amazing.
Yes. But I finally watched one of those. I didn't bring myself to watch the second one. They're wild. So that's awesome. Chilla, speaking of streaming services, looks like Netflix. Was this a lacking of awesome or just a news?
No, this was. No, I thought this was pretty interesting. So Netflix, someone found some code in the Android Netflix app that's hinting at what they're calling Streamfest. So it's going to be potentially a 2-day event. Now, if Netflix doesn't do this, everyone's going to be mad. It's a 2-day event beginning December 4th that's going to make Netflix free for anyone who hasn't subscribed. So if you have been always wanting to watch some show on Netflix, but you've never wanted to pay for it, you have 2 days to pretty much take in all the Netflix you can. So there could be, they're saying, they're claiming there could be a limit to the number of active viewers allowed. But I mean, I think it's nice, or it may give some people that have been on the fence about a Netflix subscription.
I'm also curious if this is going to be some sort of a stress test for them.
That's true. For coming into the holiday season, yeah.
Or maybe just even for something bigger that they want to do. Like you gotta watch. Like, why would you do? Okay, yeah, you introduce a lot of people to it, and they can try it out, and hopefully you get hooked on some stuff, and sign up for it. Also, there's been stories about how they've been eliminating the free trials, so maybe this is what they do. Maybe it becomes like a free HBO weekend kind of situation. So like, as you would often do, and try to slam as much HBO as you could in the weekend, right? No, I think that's worthwhile. Also, and this I've heard about before. They also, I don't know if many people know this, they do have a portal that offers first episodes or early episodes for free for a lot of their stuff, including Stranger Things, Grace and Frankie, Bird Box. So like those are parts of it too. But I don't know if a lot of people, maybe it's when you kind of go to the front page, you may end up in this, perhaps, if you're like, what is Netflix? What is this button on my remote do? But no, it'll be interesting to see. I know it feels like everybody already has Netflix, doesn't it? But that's not true. That's not true.
Like there's a few people that I know that don't have Netflix, and we don't have Hulu. So,
yeah,
and there's been a couple of times where it's like, oh, hey, you're at someone's house and they have Hulu and they're like, oh, I want to see a couple episodes of this. I feel like the one thing everybody has is Amazon, but maybe I'm even wrong there.
I don't know. I don't know quite everybody like subscribes to that, so. But it's also like depends on where you're coming from. Like, oh, hey, everybody seems to have Amazon because it came with Prime. A lot of people seem to have HBO Max because they're giving it out with a bunch of things. A lot of people have Disney Plus because they're giving it out with a bunch of things. So I was breaking down. I was like, wait, what do I actually pay for? Because actually, I have at least like 3 services that are just like either paid for or through other services at this point. So
I think it also, a lot of these like Hulu and stuff, you can have more users than you have on Netflix. So you can have multiple households using the Hulu account.
Okay. Really?
Because I know.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I have 3 different I shouldn't be admitting this. We have 3 different households using my Hulu account.
Yeah. We
and like Netflix, we can only do 2.
I think it's like at the same time, right? Like you get limited at a certain point. So yeah, we just added somebody. I don't know if they'll be using it much, but we'll find out if it's like, hey, everybody's going. It was like, but also like I feel like the people that we have on for their own logins like are not going to be heavy users mostly.
Same.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're just like, oh, they'll tune in every once in a while, or when we're over there or something, right? So yeah, when my mom wants to watch Halloweentown. So yeah. All right, what else we got here? Let's see. I love rope lights. Let's see. This was interesting. Again, kind of the photos side of things. I still follow a little bit of Mathworks, if you're familiar with them. They do a lot of simulation and math software, things like that. I know them from doing work with the auto drive community, the formula community, and a lot of the simulations and building that they need to do over there. So following them, of course, some of those engineers and media people over on that we've had on the SAE podcast I've interviewed before. But this article came up and I thought was kind of cool. This is hold on, let me delete this so don't see my account. A computer vision algorithm that removes water from underwater images. It's kind of weird because the lighting is still obviously affected as it would be in water, like on the surfaces. But yeah, like it takes, and maybe this is just a de-bluing filter, I don't know. But you can see like there's a lot of pictures of kind of coral and underwater kind of things. But it's kind of cool how it goes. And you see kind of the breakdown between like the raw image, the range map, backscatter map, as it's breaking down all the elements in this, and then creating a computer-generated, computer-cleaned-up image in the long run there. So you can see that in our link in the show notes as well. It was a pretty cool little thing they had going on there. So go check that out over at Mathworks, blog.mathworks.com, and we'll put the link over there too. So
they need the inverted version of that where we can add it like we're all in the water having this show.
Yes, with the bubbles and everything. That'd be great. Oddly, I'm sure that's probably easier, right? So. Sega is celebrating its 60th anniversary with free mini games on Steam. This is not all a positive story. I think it's going to go with the thing that you're going to have going on here, Chilla. They put out there a canceled Golden Axe game, and there's a Streets of Rage Yakuza mashup if you want to check that out too. So a pretty cool thing they have. And again, they have a lot of games on Steam that you go, mini games, homages to Sega games, and you can go play those on at least the PC version of Steam pretty easily if you want to do that. So here's where the controversy. This is the less than awesome part. So they had Golden Axe. They called it Golden Axe, right? It's just one level. The issue is. There you go. Now you can actually see them. The issue is that the game that they put out, Golden Axe, was from about 2012, and there were a number of developers that worked on that game. It was a very time-crunched game, and it ended up just kind of falling apart. It was mismanaged, self-admittedly, and was shelved. And they brought it up for this, and they wrote, the description is, "Hey, this was a really bad demo that happened." None of the developers knew about it until it was released, and they were starting to get tweets about it. So, and they're kind of like, "What's going on here? Why they kind of got thrown under the bus as they released this game to celebrate Sega's 60th anniversary, which I don't know, somehow seems very Sega of them in the long run. So, but holy crap, they've been around 60 years. Of course, they did stuff before we would have heard of them. I think they were mostly always an amusement games company in Japan, long before we were aware of them here in the States. So, kind of interesting stuff. So, since I led into that, Chilla, you had a series. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick on the last one, it was interesting to read. So I saw some of the stuff from the developers and the apology from Sega. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to then go down the rabbit hole of like software developers. They refer to it. They refer to the period prior to major release and milestone development as crunch time. But then it went in it got into this whole area of technology and the stress that not only developers go through, but also infrastructure managers, putting in, 60 to 80 hour weeks, and how, some companies like Nintendo have actually tried to reverse some of that, and they've been more willing to push out deadlines. It was, to me, it was a really good read if you start going through. And I think I found it referred to as crunch culture. Mm-hmm. It was a really good read just to see and hear all the different points of view from a number of technologies, as well as even outside the gaming industry. So highly recommend if you want to go down that rabbit hole. There were a lot of good articles from, I think I read one on a psychology journal, all the way to, multiple Reddit conversations. It was very interesting and enlightening.
The more I hear about video game culture, between the crunch culture or the toxic cultures that we hear about, I mean, I feel like every major game company has a issue with PC-ness, I guess, inside, that we keep hearing about. It's like, I'm glad I didn't get into the game business, which was like something I had an inkling with for a while there. So no, the burnout is bad. Like, I know somebody I went to school with, and I think like something like 8 years ago, I caught up with him, and he says, "Yeah, I think I'm retiring from the business." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're like 30." He's like, "Yeah, you can't keep up. It's too crunch. There's too many young people come feed into it, and they just burn them all out. But there's enough that they can do that, and that's been the strategy for how long in video games. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely. So, yep. See what else we got going on here.
But on the downturn news, or the not so awesome things of the week, do you still have your Stadia browser for your Apple device?
I do.
You may not for long.
Oh no! What are they doing?
Make sure you keep that app backed up.
Oh no! What
so
happened?
Yeah, Apple's claiming they're going, or I don't know if they've removed it yet, but they're saying that the Stadium app will no longer be allowed in the App Store.
No! What are they citing for it?
I didn't read that far in the article, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's just another...
As far as
they're objecting to how they're extending WebKit with native APIs to connect with Bluetooth.
Whoa, why? Security. They're going to cite security on this, aren't they?
Well, it sounds like they're not fond of how they're connecting to Stadia over Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it's because they're connecting the controller to the browser.
Yeah, I would think. So I just out of curiosity, I'm trying to find it. Stadium's full screen browser, if you're searching for it. Stadium full screen. So, because that was the big thing, was you can do a browser, but the problem is you couldn't get. It's still there. It's still currently there in the store. So
download it while you can.
So get it while you can. You'll be all right. Typically, they don't remove it from your re-downloads. Typically. But that also means that as they update the WebKit on your phone in iOS, whoops, you can they may hamper it at some point, and they won't get updates. So, but it shows this is possible.
Yeah, and you would think that. To me, this just shows that Apple has to come up with some way to do this, because I think isn't Apple the one that also told Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do Game Pass, figure out how to do it in a browser?
I don't think that's what they told them. But yeah, well, here's the thing, because if you do it in a browser, you still need something to do what this app did and connect the browser to a game controller. So how are we going to solve this problem? Right? It's wild. Damn it. Damn it, Apple. Just leave it be, man. It's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting anybody. Come on. Jeez. Apple's making me sad these days. I haven't been happy with them for a bit. Kate.
Sorry. No, go
ahead. Did we talk about the Great Pumpkin on the show, or was that before?
I think it was before. We were like, we need to have some unawesome things this week.
Okay. And I actually saw my sister was sharing about this because the story on your local news is how the Great Pumpkin is not going to be on your televised network this year for the first time in, I don't know, 40 years or something, Katie?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, it's been, does this article say? I can't remember. No, it doesn't say. But yeah, it's been decades. It's been on network TV, and we ruined everything. Another thing 2020 has ruined.
Oh, no.
But It's moving to Apple TV Plus.
Yay!
Yay! But it's free.
But it's free. Apparently, you don't have to have Apple TV Plus to watch it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a device that can have Apple TV on it.
But it's only free for like 2 to 3 days at a time. I don't count that as
free.
Free.
Well, that is
October 30th till November 1st.
Well, that's your equivalent of watching on TV, right? You'll be time gated there too, right?
Yeah, maybe we're like the weird because we own the DVD set.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so do I. Oh, absolutely, so do I. But I'm completely hit and play on this instead. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we do play it for a couple days before, and then on Thanksgiving, it's just the Thanksgiving specials, just pretty much on repeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even that weird one where they're on the Mayflower.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what is? I don't remember this one. So there's and I think Apple's getting some more stuff. There's going to be a Snoopy show coming up as part of this article that you have here, Katie. I don't know if I'm walking all over your article here. So
no, you're fine.
So I'm glad I set up my mom with her Roku. With one of the Rokus in the house can support Apple TV apparently, but there's a new Snoopy show. There's this. I think they're getting more, aren't they? I don't know, like more news specials. I thought I heard something about a Mother's Day special. Does that sound right?
Yes. Earth Day. Oh, no, wait. That's original Peanut programming with Mother's Day, Earth Day, New Year's Eve, back to back.
There you go.
But they'll be on there. Oh my gosh, the holiday shows made their debut in 1960s. The 1960s.
That would have started with the Christmas episode, correct?
Yeah.
So, and I'm wondering if people have a problem with this when the Christmas episode goes on there. That's war on Christmas time right there. How wild is that? That Apple is restoring my childhood by making new content for both the Peanuts and Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
So, like, thank you for keeping that stuff going at this point. So it's such a spread because like you need 3 services to get all of your Muppet content because Fraggle Rock's on Apple. Disney of course has the Muppets and all the stuff with that new stuff on there too. And then all of your Sesame Street is over on HBO. So
is the Dozers cartoon on Apple or Disney Plus? Is that where that's at?
There's a Dozers cartoon?
Yes, I got to see that with my niece this weekend, and I can't remember because they have Hulu, Disney Plus, and Netflix, and I can't remember which. We were switching between all the different.
Well, it's even worse because between Apple TV and the new Google TV stuff, like you don't. I'm barely going into apps. So the recommendations on Google TV are pretty damn good, actually. It's a lot of stuff that I've already seen, but will probably watch again. So I'm just like, do I own this? Is it on? The only time I'm running into a problem is on Hulu because it's the only thing I'm not subscribed to right now. But yeah, and there's no Apple stuff on there. But jeez.
Yep, Doozer's cartoons on Hulu. Yep, that's right.
That's on Hulu.
Doozers,
There's no Fraggle on. There shouldn't be any Fraggle on Disney. I wonder if there's That's on. Why is it on Hulu? I'm getting confused. It's like I'm watching. Like I was talking to somebody last night, and they were like, "Oh, like I gotta watch my Agents and Shield on Hulu." I'm like, "Wait, isn't that on Netflix? Wait, shouldn't that be on Disney?" Like, where are we with this stuff? So where will it end up when the new season is done? You know, I'm looking up.
Well, I'm guessing because a lot of those had agreements not just with Marvel or Disney or whomever. They had the ABC or whatever channel contract. So I'm guessing they have to wait for those to expire.
Yeah, or they're still baked in or something because HBO Max definitely is still cycling through all their DC content. I just know Killing Joke was on there, maybe still is, and it just popped up on Netflix, and Netflix let me know about it. So I was like, great, I have it on DVD. Thank you, or Blu-ray. Thank you so much. So. Yeah. Speaking of which, picked up the Mr. Rogers Tom Hanks movie the other day because I just Mr. Rogers is popular this week again. If you didn't know that, so disclaimer. Yeah, the Blu-ray's out there. I think you can pick up for as low as like $5 on Prime or something. Or maybe I'm thinking The Crow when I was looking at that last week. But Very different, by the way. But the documentary for Mr. Rogers is on Peacock right now, and you should be able to watch it for free. It's going to have commercials, but it's for free. Go watch it. It's worthwhile. And as I said on Twitter late last week, I think a lot of us can probably use some Mr. Rogers right now, at least to get through these next 2 weeks. So that's out there for you for free. Download the app. You're going to have to sign up, but you're not going to have to pay for anything. Or if you have Comcast, I think it's included. So I've been watching SNL lately on that. So, but that's also, I think, a sign of the times. But yes. Anything else you guys want to touch on here? I'm not sure what else I missed in the rundown. I think that's everything, isn't it?
So one last lacking awesome.
Oh.
Google killed another product line. They killed, and this one surprised me. They're killing off Nest Secure. So like your home security alarm system that they released back in 2017, they're discontinuing the system, like the keypad, motion detector, the tag key fob for your keys. I was surprised. Like, to me, there's still a market for this, and I feel like, you know, your typical Guardian protection, I don't know, is Guardian like nationwide, or is that like a Pittsburgh thing?
I think it's
like you're run of the mill, call the 800 number, have the security guy come out and install, you know, the door sensors and your key panel and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like there's still a race for this. I'm just surprised that Google wants out of this area.
This is why I won't pay money for games on Stadia other than paying for the service itself. It seems like everybody had this. I don't know how many times I was pitched it for AT&T. I was just double checking to see if AT&T still had it. Yeah, they do for $550. So, but it's just like I never bought into it, you know, for any of these. But Google, I would think, would have stuck around considering their work into the home automation system. All these guys are a damn mess, aren't they? Like.
What? It just surprises me. I feel like they already have the camera kits with Nest. Like, why get out of this? Is the problem I have with Google. It's like, if we can't monetize it into search, then we're just gonna kill it. Like, if you remember, like, I always use Reader as the go-to easy conversation about backlash of people hating the fact that they killed something off. But yeah, I don't know. The Nest brand is, to me, synonymous with that security angle. I just don't know why they're not sticking it out.
Yeah, I think there's some goofy movements that continue to go on in Google with these kinds of things. So yeah, but hey, yeah, the Google graveyard is large at this point.
It's like the Atari AT&T tapes out in the desert.
Yeah. Did you say Atari ET?
Atari ET tapes.
You said Atari AT&T, and I was like,
sorry,
what?
I meant Atari ET.
Yeah. So, well, either way. Well, now we brought everybody down. By the way, my mom is over on my mother is over on the group posting for this, and let's see, she watched Halloweentown. Yes, you watched that with me. She says that was a cabin we stayed in. It was still kind of mobile homey. I don't know. It was very woody. And I'm presuming we're talking about Great Pumpkin because she is shouting, "You have to watch them all. I have the DVD." Thank you. Thank you. So this is going to be fun because when we're in the RV doing this remotely, she will be in the RV with me. So.
Oh yes, just yelling things.
You'll just hear from the back of the RV. I know what you're talking about. You know, this will be. There's going to be 3 weeks of this show that are going to be quite the experience, both technically and everything else if we do work out technically. So, hey, there's a possibility I may not even be here, and it'll just be these two on the show. Who knows? Depends on where we end up. So no, looking for, I'm going to go wave to her right now. Looking forward to that. Katie, you've been doing a lot of great stuff, of course, on the Instagram machine and your social medias.
Oh yeah, I've been trying. I still got more wrestlers. I've got 6 more rounds to go. Maybe, sure.
Yes,
5 or 6 more rounds.
6
That
more
seems
rounds.
about right. 6 more.
6 more rounds of the radiation. You, I think that was there. No, that wasn't a public thing that you told me today. I was like, you have an announcement. No, you don't yet.
I have nothing. You know nothing.
I'm getting mixed up. I'm getting a little mixed up here, and my foot keeps kicking the camera cord. But
yes, I have 6 more rounds of wrestling. Well, 1 tonight, and then 6 more rounds of wrestlers. I think if I could figure out if I could do 6 more,
including one with the Nintendo Switch. And I actually interviewed him, and maybe this is one technically a lot of you guys will be interested in. I interviewed Big Game Leroy, one of the people you just did in the last couple of days. We both got to. I don't know. Did you get to meet him when he was in Pittsburgh for the Polycult party?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
But we talked with him about the gaming and using the Nintendo Switch. It's his Nintendo Switch. He doesn't have like a dummy one that's broken or something like that. It's great. So great conversation with him. That'll be over Friday, 10 p.m. over the IndieWrestling.us social media pages, Facebook, YouTube, if you want to go check that out. I think that's all I have for you.
You're dismissed. Like,
you're fine. You're good. You can go home now. Wait, you're
Thanks.
home. Wait, we're already home, except for me. Chilla, you're also at home. Chilla? Did he go away? Did he go home?
Unmute, Chilla. Unmute.
Unmute.
The thing, I kept going up and down and up and down. And I couldn't hit the red button. Yes, I'm in the home, in the cave, underneath the grounds, in the Big D. You can find me at John Chichilla on the Facebook and Chilla on the Twitter.
There you go. Check out everything. Great conversations. If you want to see some Instagram or some Aldi's grocery hacking, go check out Listen to Your Parents over on SorgatronMedia.com. Listen to Your Parents on Facebook as well. A lot of good conversation between that and Rocket League. Great conversations on that. And there's a great Rocket League video that Matt Carlin's put out on Listen to Your Parents Facebook page. So some really good content there that you guys might be into. Check out everything going on. If you want to hear all the podcasts in the Sorgatron Media Network, you can subscribe to Sorgatron Media Master Feed. I'm at Sorgatron. You have been our awesome audience with all of your awesome independent Twitter feeds. That we'll just say internally to ourselves right now. And we'll see you guys next time. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.